Zemnis is definitely the kind of boss who throws pizza parties in order to raise the morale of his workers instead of, just giving them raises or more vacation hours. Because, like, Roxas had one vacation in a whole year of work, and that's gotta be against some sort of regulations in the world that never was. Zigbar is the instigator. He's the kind of guy you meet in the break room and constantly tells you that this company is falling apart. He's also the type of person who, in the meetings, has his feet up on the table and kind of doesn't really care what other people think about him in the company because he's tenured and he knows he's not going to get fired. So he just says whatever he wants and doesn't really do a whole lot of work, but still produces results that makes the company want to keep him on. Zaldin is the senior employee who's super tough on the new hires. He constantly likes to talk about how hard people used to work and how lazy all the new hires are. He also likes to threaten people with being fired or possibly being suspended, even though he has no power to do that sort of thing. Vexen's the kind of guy who recently got a promotion and just won't shut up about it. He likes to hold his higher position over people who are in lower positions, and just continuously likes to boss them around, even though that sort of thing really doesn't matter within the company. He also stays late at the company and is possibly doing human experimentation, so you might want to report him to HR. Lexius is the silent type. He likes to put on a stony exterior, but is pretty soft on the inside. He'll help you out if you have any problems, and a lot of his deeds go unnoticed. He's the type of person to show up to a company party with a whole thing of cookies, something you really wouldn't expect from him, but they're really good, which lets you know that he has a lot of practice. Zexian is the kind of guy who got into the company purely through nepotism, but he doesn't really like to talk about it. He tries to do his job well, but a lot of his deeds just really fall to the wayside because he's not an overachiever, but he's not really an underachiever either, so he doesn't stand out as much. He also likes to practice magic and hypnotism on the side, which some people find weird, but others think is pretty cool. Syax is the type of employee who wants to move to corporate so he can rub elbows with the bigwigs and get that big promotion he's been looking for. He's the one who'll do anything and everything to step over his fellow employees just to get that promotion. He's also super into the whole hustle culture thing and thinks that if he stays at the office an extra 10 hours, the company will reward him for his efforts later down the line. They won't. Axel is the fun employee you want to hang around with on break, but he's constantly being reported to HR for being a bad culture fit for the company. Demix is the lazy employee that they don't want to get rid of because it would be too much trouble to train and hire an entirely new employee, so they want to just keep him in the system. Luxord is the employee who does his job well, but other employees are getting concerned that he may or may not have a gambling addiction that might be ruining his home life. Marluxia is the type of employee who thinks he can take over the CEO's position after working there for only a month. He's also constantly showing up to the office with different cologne scents, which is just a festival for the nose, and is not appreciated by some of the other employees in the office, especially early in the morning. Larxene is the type of employee who everyone just hates to their core. She is constantly insulting and berating her fellow employees as well as her managers, but nobody wants to fire her in fear that she might cause a scene if they do. And by a scene, I mean literally stabbing someone. Roxas and Shion are the new interns who don't really know what they're doing, but are trying to figure things out as they go. They're relying on the help of the older employees to help them learn the ropes, but some of them are much more helpful than others. Little do they know that the upper management of the company is actually looking to replace one of them with the other, and they're actually competing against each other for the full-time position.